Hey guys, back with another Maplestory video here. This time, back to the roots. Hard Magnus, but now instead of doing solo, I'm doing solo multi. And I've had a lot of close calls. It's been kind of my obsession ever since we've cleared Lotus at the beginning of the week. I was using all my buffs and pouring all my resources and time into getting this done. There was actually an Asia Paladin who cleared it first when we first got this new max damage cap. So I'll link his video in the description. He actually was insane. He cleared this a month ago. So it was on my bucket list. I wanted to get to 7K Cobalt first, but I didn't get the job done. And so now I was switching my attention to soloing multi-hard Magnus. And as you saw, there was a lot of fails. I messed up right there. I messed up my stun, so I didn't get maximum uptime on my burst. But overall, this fight was as good as it gets for me personally. I've had a lot of, this was the best RNG run. It wasn't the best played run by me. I did die twice, but threat RNG is honestly a huge factor in these long fights, maximizing burst and DPS and min-maxing. And so I die right there, jumped right into an orb, and wasn't looking too good from the start, right? I don't even have PEs on my skill wheel because I was afraid of Zombify. If you don't know, Zombify actually reverses the effects of HP pots. So right now Zombify is up, or it was up, and it doesn't even register the HP pots. I'll show you again in a little bit in this next rotation. But it's a huge factor and kind of one of the biggest reasons why Paladins do so well, like in my duo videos with Zany or with other classes, the DA, Legacy DA back in the day. That's one of the advantages for Paladin because they can use their one skill to heal through it and not have to rely on elixirs. So you'll see right here, he's going to dash, he's going to spin, and then he's going to do his clone skill. But after this clone skill, he's going to do that little zombify skill with that icon, that shell ghost icon, and that is zombify. Basically, you see my HP pots are not registering at all. And if I did click it, then it would actually do damage to me and kill me, especially if it was a power elixir. So I took power elixirs off of my bars altogether. Didn't want to risk it. It's kind of one of the reasons I died in the previous attempts. So I did have a few deaths in here because I didn't have power elixirs, but overall it was kind of worth it. So right here you can see Threaten's been really good. Almost 4 minutes in, I'm on a really good pace. I try to make sure that, in my burst windows, that if I have Threat RNG, I try to maximize my DPS. And it's really also about when to use my Synchro and when to use my other iframe heal, my other iframe res, which is right there, to immune that zombify effect. And that zombify effect is really something I was trying to avoid as much as possible. Like I mentioned, it's really a pain to deal with. And so I just tried to immune it all together. And one of the things that I loved about doing this content, this solo mission, because this one was a long fight and it forced me to really learn my class, learn how I do damage, and understand sort of gauging what time frames I do damage and when it's really optimal to have Thran up, ideal, but when Thran isn't up, how my damage doesn't really matter in certain instances just because of the nature of the Paladin and how burst heavy it is. So that's why I had a really fun time doing this challenge and getting this done. It was long, it was tedious, but it kind of forced me to lock in and min-max my DPS, understanding how to get every global, every attack had to have a purpose, every movement, because in the scheme of things, there's really a small room for error. So I was trying to maximize each attack and be efficient with my movements and my skills. And so it may seem like I'm just pressing one preset or using Synchro, just standing there and do DPS, but there's more to it. There's more kind of that goes into it that is hard to see and something I really just took a lot of emphasis on when I use my synchros, when I use my iframes, how I used up jump instead of dashes to maximize and be efficient with my movements, and when I stunned as well. So everything had a purpose, and I think I executed it pretty well. And you'll see sort of at the end how much time I have left compared to how much room I had because of how effectively and efficiently I use my movements, except for that one right there. But I sort of want to take this time as well to talk about the thing I'm most excited about, the Explore Remaster. We just got the news this weekend that we're going to have that for the December update, and I'm really excited. It's kind of the talk of the town per se, and I want to make a video on it, things that I'm looking forward to and things I'm preparing for, and how I'm planning on preparing for whatever comes, whether it's with nodes, whether it's new skills, new rotations, play styles, things like that. But I'm trying to gather as much data as possible, see what GMS PC is doing, KMS, and just try to be prepared for anything. But I definitely want to make a video on that, on things that I'm going to be doing to prepare for it. So be on the lookout for that. And I'm just excited and hopeful that Thren honestly gets revamped and remastered, because now that I think about it, this one skill is what is honestly the most broken skill in the game. Just how much damage gets influenced by it. For example, I tried to do hard Magnus on some of the top classes that I've done Magnus on before: Phantoms, Shadowers, the Wind Archers. Every class I had access to never came close. They came about 60% of HP of hard Magnus, and this is full buffed. And so Thren obviously is a huge skill for maximizing DPS. And so I definitely am excited that that's going to get remastered and not so heavily relied on. And got the badge right there, finished at 9:45, insane time. But I look forward to making a video on Explorer Remaster, Lotus Guide. Stay tuned, subscribe if that's something you're interested in. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.